access to underserved populations. Meanwhile, China is pressing ahead in its development of a CBDC and has already launched pilot programs of its digital renminbi with major retailers in select metropolitan areas. In 2016, then People's Bank of China Governor Zhao Xiaoshuan stated that his ambition was to eventually replace cash in China with its digital renminbi. Beneficial to the CCP is the fact that a widespread adoption of a digital currency would allow them to track every purchase, expand domestic surveillance initiatives, and exert greater control over private transactions. The CCP may even use its newfound visibility into transactions as a tool to enforce party discipline. China has made clear their motives to challenge the United States as the preeminent global economic power. The development and implementation of a digital currency is one of several steps in their quest as they seek to usurp the dollar as the world's reserve currency. As policymakers focused on national security implications of financial services, we must closely monitor China's actions and appropriately react to these developments out there. And so moving the role of the Fed into a much more powerful role and more non-conventional role. So with respect to monetary policy, this idea of strengthening the Fed's ability to foster dual mandate of maximum employment and price stability, is there a risk of giving this kind of power to the Federal Reserve to undermining price stability and contributing to, for example, inflation? Mr. Baldwin, do you have a view on that?
We have the global reserve currency in the U.S. dollar is because of the rule of law that we have here in the United States, independent judiciary. There are a lot of reasons that people trust the dollar, including the reliability of our elections and the fact that we have a peaceful transfer of power every 4 years. So when we talk about a digital yuan versus a digital dollar, and we recognize that China probably has more data on their individual citizens than any nation on earth. Facial recognition widely used for oppressive reasons. This digital yuan would give China a more granular level of surveillance of financial activity in their country, would it not?
Yes. On and off the committee, we must not forget that the benefit of having a digital dollar would only come to fruition if it were open, permissionless, and private. Any attempt to craft a central bank digital currency that enables the Fed to provide retail bank accounts and mobilizes the Cbdc rails into a surveillance tool able to collect all sorts of information on Americans would do nothing other than put the United States on par with China's digital authoritarianism. Our banks and fintechs, that's okay, you can laugh, but it's real and it's happening. Talk to the Chinese, what their government's doing to them. Our banks and fintechs are doing a great job serving their customers and expanding access to financial services. It's the competitive marketplace of the private sector that facilitates that achievement. For this reason, I am deeply concerned by Chair Powell's recent comment before the full committee that the strongest argument in favor of central bank digital currencies is that, quote, you wouldn't need stablecoins. You wouldn't need cryptocurrencies if you had a digital U.S. currency, close quote. Our government should never be in the business of designing a tool that will wipe out an entire innovative private market, a market that creates far more capital and provides far more high-tech jobs than the government will ever be able to do. More than anything, cryptocurrencies, stablecoins, and other private market blockchain innovation open doors to immense opportunities for Americans. These decentralized projects have an underlying code that is open source, meaning anyone can find it, study it, verify it, and build projects on top of it. It is in this way that crypto and blockchain expand opportunity for everyone, whether that's financial inclusion or capital formation or tech innovation. With cryptocurrencies, no one has to ask a bank or a corporation, or perhaps most importantly, their government, for permission to start a project or launch a business or get a loan. That's the way it should be. And by the way, it's interesting how cryptocurrencies have grown as government seeks to grow ever bigger and try to make decisions for the public. The size and scope of government versus a right of an individual to self-determine is exactly what is pushing the development of this area. And it's great to have all of you here.
In 2008. After all, the story goes, the motivation behind Bitcoin's creation was to avoid exposure to bank collapses and financial contagion in the traditional financial system. Professor Walsh, for that to be true, crypto would have to be insulated from the risks that make our financial system vulnerable to a crisis and vice versa. Is that the case?
No, I don't believe that is true. Risks in the crypto sector, software bugs, attacks, anything that could go wrong there can affect the entire crypto sector, but can also, through all these links that have been built between the crypto financial system and the traditional financial system, those risks can come across those bridges, those links, to affect people in the traditional financial system who may never have actually touched crypto in their lives.
All right. So look, there's no doubt that we need a stronger, safer, and more inclusive financial system. The biggest banks have too much power, present too many risks to financial stability, and have failed to serve Americans' needs. The giant banks have created huge problems, but I'm not convinced that crypto is the solution. In fact, crypto could be even more dangerous for consumers, more dangerous for the environment, and more dangerous for the stability of our financial system. That is why yesterday I sent a letter to Secretary Yellen in her capacity as head of the Financial Stability Oversight Council to urge her to lead our regulators in developing a comprehensive and coordinated approach to regulating cryptocurrencies. Look, all the warning signs are flashing. The hype, the volatility, the wild claims that turn out to be false. As the crypto market grows, so do the risks to our financial stability and our economy. Regulators need to do their job and step in before it.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And guys, I come back with that video just to make you think. And here we go, the Hegelian dialectic again with the banking committee. And China was the main focus. We know China is leading the way of the digital currencies on purpose. They have the Bitcoin mining on purpose. The reason why is that the central banks of the United States have funded it all. And the reason why is because the United States is the only place where you still have freedoms. China is the blueprint that they set up. Total surveillance, no privacy, no free speech, and eventually they'll know what you're buying, when you're buying it, how you're buying it. They'll be able to control that with the programmable free money. Yes, they'll give you the money, but you're going to do as you're told. Because we know when it comes to the New World Order, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
We're going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
This effort, and China has big plans for this. They intend to seed their digital yuan into the global environment by giving it away to visitors at next winter's Olympics. When they arrive at the airport, they're going to get yuan digital wallets. They're going to receive digital yuan. They're going to use it throughout their visits to Beijing, and then they're going to take it back to their home countries. They see this as a huge advantage. Why? Because who controls the underlying protocols, who controls the underlying standards of the future of money will control the future of money.
The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know, I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID stories 3. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.